he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're.
I know that some of the people were not happy with how Donald Trump reacted in this situation, but still I think we can cut some slack to everyone. It is okay for Donald Trump to feel like this because, as a human being, I want to say that what Zelensky exactly said is that because there is an ocean in between, like, USA is already a superpower. So I don't think Donald Putin is gonna. Obviously, there is fight of minerals and resources between US and Russia, who's the biggest superpower. At the end of the day, both Russia and USA are looking for their own interest. And बीच में Zelensky फंस रहा है, बीच में Ukraine फंस रहा है. What I'm trying to say is Ukraine is getting stuck in the middle. However, the same Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union. And when Soviet Union got divided, I believe somehow Putin feels that as Ukraine is a part of Soviet Union, he just feels that no other security threat or maybe some deep state should not interfere in Ukraine matter. So when Ukraine said कि वो NATO join करने वाला है, it's want to join NATO, it annexed Crimea, Russia. And before 2014, the president of Ukraine had was pro-Putin. But now when when Zelensky came into power, there are some theories that it is maybe because of the deep state. Putin got insecure about the fact that Ukraine is moving towards the west. So that's when it annexed. And maybe there are people who will argue that Putin is a sort of a monster or maybe he's a kind of dictator. But again, he's a man who is looking for his personal interest. What more can I say about that? Because Donald Trump, frankly, does not have any problem with Putin. He's actually, to be fair, in this argument, Donald Trump was actually sitting. I am a Trump supporter, but I'm not a blind Trump supporter. I get where people are saying that Donald Trump was not carrying himself nicely. And there is a way that USA has been trying to put pressure on Zelensky that, stop this war, compromise with Putin, try to make some deals regarding minerals, because at the end of the day, Putin is also looking for the interest of its own Russian people and the minerals and resources that he can get hands on. And Donald Trump wants to do the same. I feel it, both are superpowers, Putin and Donald Trump, and they know that this is something inevitable. Somehow, there are two ethnic races. Just for saying Soviet Union's part, the Ukrainian people and the Russian people. I'm sure the Russian and Ukrainians, they don't get along anymore because they have such a bad blood, such a bad history. But now you don't have a pro-Zelensky, pro-Ukraine government anymore, which was Biden government. And मैं तो आपको आगे बाइडेन को इतना बोल दिया, स्टूपिड प्रेसिडेंट था, $250 billion दे दिया. मैं देशभक्त चैनल में देख भी रहा था कि वो व्हाट मिस्टर बैनर्जी सेड, बेसिकली वो $180 billion जो भी दिए यूक्रेन को गए, वो वापस वो वही जो इकोनॉमी है, वो जो डॉलर इकोनॉमी है, वो बेसिकली वापस वहीं आता है डिफेंस कंपनीज के पास. बाकी जैसे भी वो यूक्रेन से डील करते हैं, अभी वो currently the mineral deal has stopped. So my final conclusion would be that Zelensky does not have much options. I know he's getting support from the from the European countries, which is good, like Italy, France, and Poland. I'm not sure. Italy, France, Great Britain, they're all coming together, which is a good thing. And but still, we need to move towards a more peaceful decision. Over here, Zelensky threatening or warning United States of America that there is an ocean in between, so you don't know. Putin might. Um, he's what he's trying to say that Putin has a invading mindset or invade other countries. But if you're saying this in front of United States of America president, he's not going to buy it. They both are friends, Putin and Donald Trump. Um, yes, again, I said I'm a supporter of Trump, but I'm not a blind supporter of Trump. I get it when people are saying that he could have carried himself much better, could have said things very nicely, very formally. But you get his gist, Donald Trump, where he got triggered by the fact that when Zelensky was telling that Putin can attack USA, that's not going to happen. Currently, you are the in the middle of the proxy war. You are in the middle of geopolitical um, decision between Russia and US, and frankly, they are getting along. And US is putting pressure on Zelensky कि भाई अब तू मैं तेरे पे pressure डाल रहा हूँ तो अब squeeze हो जा अब तू बता क्या करेगा. And yes, final conclusion I would say that Zelensky has to talk to the people of Ukraine, which is, he needs complete public support because I think Ukraine is a democratic nation. It should be a democratic nation. Here, the people of Ukraine, what they decide, and yes, if there are Russian people, I am not 100%. I haven't worked in Ukraine on the ground level, so I'm not the expert here to say, what Ukrainian people are suffering over there or Russian people are suffering over there. But obviously, they have to get along, and he has to work on the groundwork. He knows now what support he's going to get. He needs to be more calm. Zelensky needs to be more calm with Donald Trump. Speak to him in a more diplomatic, more calm way, and see if he can finish the animosity with Putin. And I coming from India, we do support Russia, but whatever fact he's stating that, as in Deshbhakt channel, Mr. Banerjee was saying that Putin is a monster, which I don't believe because I don't know all the cards. I don't have all the cards in my table, so I don't know if Putin is exactly the monster as for Ukraine, for one perspective, of course he can be, and I get it that Donald Trump and Putin, they're looking for their own best interest, they're looking for their resources and for their money. They don't want to, and I get it. If Soviet Union gets gets divided, somehow that nationalistic approach will come for Putin to see that I am not gonna, as I'm the world leader, as I'm the leader of the largest nation in the world, Russia. I I cannot have my boundaries um, being interfered by a second world power, first world power like the United States of America. So I completely understand with the insecurity of Putin, but I don't know that whatever Zelensky is saying, that is Putin the monster? Yes, from Ukraine perspective, he invaded, so he's a, Russia was boycotted, etc. Whatever happened, but at the end of the day, what's left for him is to still he needs to compromise with the Russian people. The compromise has to happen between the Russian people and the Ukraine people, the ethnicity of Russian and Ukrainian people. Ukrainian somewhere who's there on the ground knows, because at the end of the day, it comes to resources, minerals, jobs, reservation, discrimination. What happens? Who gets more? If Russia is in power, Russia will get more, the Russians will get more advantage. If Ukrainians are in power, the Ukrainians will get biases. So there they will have their biases. You cannot do anything about it. But still, at the end of the day, um, they have to compromise on one level, and he needs to discuss this with Putin. How to obviously Crimea. He's not going to get back Crimea. I think that is out of the question. Crimea हमको वापस नहीं मिलने वाला. So what is left now is whatever. मैं उन areas के नाम नहीं जानता. Don. Let me just check this out here. Obviously, as Ukraine shifting towards the west was a direct threat to Russia's strategic interest. So I get it. So of course, Ukraine has to negotiate at the end of the day, and the compromise will be happening between two groups, people living there, the Russians and the Ukrainians. This is what I believe, and Zelensky needs to work on the ground and discuss with his people and get their full support, and then talk to Putin instead of going on war. Until now, whatever resources they have, whatever fight they can put up, he should continue. But still, there needs to be more. And in fact, Putin also needs to be dealt peacefully with a more, kind-hearted approach. Otherwise, if you're just gonna go there, hurt Putin's ego, that's not good for the world, right? I know people will come and say Putin is a monster. Yeah, then do you want this war to continue? Because maybe I don't have all the knowledge in this perspective, but still, what can be the final conclusion? My final conclusion is I think Zelensky should talk to his people, the people of Ukraine, and then decide how to negotiate with the Russians. And that's the only way to go. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to cover anything after this. Whatever was in my mind, I just gave a very prompt reaction. I'm sorry, guys, if I was not able to cover all the points, but I just wanted to give a very prompt and honest reaction. Whatever comes into my mind directly, I just wanted to say that. So please forgive me if I say anything that you guys did not like. But the motive of this video was to just create a video, see how my reactions come up after watching this video. And I'm just going to play this video one more time. Just continue this.
We're going to feel.
You
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
the
cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
What I was trying to say is that if Zelensky is saying that, see, I already Putin annexed so many of the territories. If we can get them back, we can go to a peace. And then after that, the point is that how Ukraine's sovereignty is going to exist. How the resources and the jobs and everything will be divided between, the Russian administration and the Ukrainian administration.
We're going to feel.
You
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah,
serious.
What I was trying to say is that if Zelensky is saying that, see, I already Putin annexed so many of the territories. If we can get them back, we can go to a peace. And then after that, the point is that how Ukraine's sovereignty is going to exist. How the resources and the jobs and everything will be divided between, the Russian administration and the Ukrainian administration. But we need to have a peaceful coexistence. If that's going to happen, then the war can stop, and the people can, because frankly, you cannot be dependent on the West. Either be self-reliant. Either a country needs to be self-reliant, or you cannot be dependent on the West, right? And see, you cannot be dependent on the West, right? And see, Donald Trump cares about money. He's not gonna like if you're just asking for money and aid, and then we are prolonging this war. So I think Donald Trump has a fair point, right?
playing
Serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
do you-
III.
what do you think
You're
about-
gambling with
what do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition.
And I get this. It's because the competition between Biden and Trump. Somewhere Zelensky favored Biden, so that's why you could see that Donald Trump and Zelensky are not getting along.
In October, offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
what are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said
Zelensky's point of view is that Donald Trump has invaded. I'm sorry, Putin has invaded Ukraine. So we have to fight. But then, as I said, we have to come into a compromise. We have to stop this war. In fact, Narendra Modi even said this is not a time of war. We need to stop this war, and that is only possible how Ukrainian people have come together and protest or ask ask for a change. That what can Vladimir Putin offer to the Ukrainian people? And if Vladimir Putin is kind enough, because either uh, I don't want to comment on anybody's character. I saw Vladimir Putin holding a dog like this. I mean, there was a politician who was holding a dog like this, and Vladimir Putin came and just handled the dog very. So he's a dog person. I get that, but I also believe that a dog person can also be a kind person. So apart from all this negativity, apart from my lack of knowledge of geopolitics, still, if there is some kindness left, then it is the Ukrainian people that needs to directly talk to the most powerful leader that's close to their ethnicity. I'm guessing Ukrainian and Russian people somewhere share the same DNA, somewhere share the same ethnicity. If not, Vladimir Putin can answer. But frankly, this is what Donald Trump can offer best. Either give me money or make use of my time. Don't waste my time or you're fired.
Thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
allowed.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
$350 billion or $180 billion, you can tell me on the comment section.
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about West
If
Virginia?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank
Hey, Donald Trump, he's a businessman. And we knew this from the start, even before making a choice between Donald Trump or Biden. We know how Donald Trump, he doesn't use those um, high English words, diplomatic word. He uses very simple English. And Donald Trump is a businessman. We knew it from the starting that Donald Trump is a businessman. And he just said that it's very hard to do business with him. But we also need to think apart from business. We need to think about the people of Ukrainian people who are suffering there, the the soldiers. They have a manpower issue, and this is what we need to take care of. And I think Vladimir Putin, if he's kind enough to help Zelensky, or I think this might go to a good. Uh, I mean, there might be some fruitful discussion after this. It all boils down to the Ukrainian people. They are taking the heat. They are suffering. The Russian army is also fighting there in the borders. Both sides have casualties, and I just feel that both of them can reach to a decision, and they have to, because at the end of the day, forgiveness is what we need to do. There are a lot of evil things going on in the world, right? I don't even want to say exactly what is happening right now, exactly, but
you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that,
American people.
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I
over
understand,
there.
sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You
I'm-
don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us,
yes, we need to be a little kind. I mean, I get that Donald Trump is a businessman, but we need to be kind with Zelensky. And if I would have been there, I would have said Zelensky that don't make this about USA versus Russia. In every Hollywood movie, the villain the villain is always a Russian. The bad person is always Russian. That's what the soft power is all about. So Zelensky should not have put it in a way like this, that USA versus now Ukraine, because it is a smaller country. It's not that small, but compared to Russia, it's small. Ukraine is also a very big country, but it's just that compared to Russia, it's small. But my point is that yeah, Donald Trump needs to be kind with Zelensky, and Zelensky needs to be more diplomatic, more approachable in this case. That yes, I need help and I want to do business, but it should be a win-win situation. It should be a win-win situation for Donald Trump and me. I think Donald Trump wouldn't have any problem with this if it is a win-win situation for both of them, right? Yeah, but Donald Trump needs to be a little bit kinder. Currently, he's just thinking from a businessman perspective. And again, I cannot really blame Donald Trump because you don't know what bad beef or bad history was between Zelensky.
I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It'll be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what
She's
if
asking,
Russia-
what if Russia
Putin
breaks the
breaks
ceasefire?
for the-
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
weapons to-
What if
Yeah, this is where I think I would side with Zelensky now at this point. Because, yeah, again, I'm considering the fact that Vladimir Putin is a kind man. I saw him holding the puppy in a right posture. So I think Vladimir Putin is a kind man. But if Russia still breaks ceasefire, like they show that only Russians are the bad people in every Hollywood movie, the soft power, then you gotta take in charge. Then you gotta be the bigger man and be the big brother of Ukraine and give them. This is what I feel like from humanity perspective. Or either he can say that no, Putin is not gonna break that, but he cannot say that because he doesn't know what Putin is gonna do. So very interesting. Even I'm not sure which side to take. But in short, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump cares about their businesses. They care about their resources, their minerals, their people. And Ukraine should also do the same. At the end of the day, compromise. So it boils down to Russia, that Russia guarantees no further aggression, and Ukraine can become a hub for industrial production, bringing in investments from multiple countries. And Ukraine has valuable minerals, and allowing controlled partnerships with Russia, the US, and Europe could be beneficial. I think Ukraine needs to play their cards smartly, just not be dependent on USA. And I hope the world leads to kindness, and every political leader is kind. Also, in this question, I feel that Donald Trump did not feel valid, that this question was valid. Somewhere, I don't know, maybe he trusts Vladimir Putin that he's not going to break the ceasefire. That's why he's just dismissing the question. But again, dismissing the question also shows wrong that you don't have confidence in Vladimir Putin that if he's going to invade or show more aggression or not. I hope they don't show any more aggression.
if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia, the 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful.
So that's called hard negotiation, power negotiation. And he is a CEO, so he knows how to be a businessman. He has done millions of deals, millions and billions of dollars of deals. So I can see a businessman. I won't say a crooked businessman. Everyone is human at the end of the day. But yeah, he might show some sympathy or empathy towards Zelensky. Call the man brave, but I don't know. He doesn't like Zelensky because Zelensky must have done something in the past.
And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? That's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together.
Guys, let's go. Guys, come on, let's go.
We'll see, I don't know.
So basically, Donald Trump's team has very tough, straightforward guys. So in this case, also Zelensky needs to be a little straightforward. What he wants for the people. He wants the war to stop. And if he thinks Russia is the aggressor, then Russia needs to take a step back. He could have said all those things. And I don't know how this debate would have turned out if he would have been more honest. According to Zelensky, Putin is the aggressor. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.